So today we're going to be going over vacant land contracts. And it's just not the vacant land contracts. We're actually going to be going over, the entire process of from the beginning to the end, all the way to filling out a vacant land contract, which is completely different to a residential contract. And even if you're getting a listing, you're really supposed to use a vacant land, listing agreement. So again, for a vacant land contract, it's got its own contracts and so forth. So we're going to be mostly going over some lots. We're going to be going over acres, maybe 5 acres, 10 acres. But anything over that is going to be considered farmland. That's completely different. That's agriculture and so forth. And some of them we can actually work into some commercial as well too. So we're going to be going over inspections. We're going to be going over, elevations of the land, and helping the realtors save their clients a lot of money. Because with inspections, and today's inspections, they'll take anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks to get an inspection company to go out there and to drill and to find out if the land has any muck, or if there's, the soil's not good soil. So we're going to teach you guys little tips as realtors that you could do this, save your time, save your clients time, and save your clients money as well too. So today we're going to be going, again, vacant land contracts. How do we determine value on a vacant land? Well, it doesn't change from a residential or residential income or a villa or a townhouse or anything like that. I like doing it the old-fashioned way. There are 2 different ways of going about it, and one is going to be doing a CMA or doing an RPR. Not me. Since I've been an investor my entire career, I'm still an investor, I don't like making mistakes. Why? Because when you're working with someone else's money, 30, 40, 50, 60, or 80, $100,000, it's a huge mistake on a realtor's behalf. You're not going to get referrals. They're going to speak very bad about you. And you're going to feel guilty inside that someone lost money because of your expertise or the lack of your expertise, okay? So the way that I like doing it on anything, and we got many classes that you guys can watch right here. Let me show you guys. PRIclasses.com. Go there. We have CMA, market analysis, RPRs. We've got all the classes on how to do a CMA, and we have all the classes on teaching you guys on, how do you go about it manually. I personally, as the broker of Partnership Realty, I love doing it manually. Why? Because I don't have any space for errors, and I really don't like committing errors. Even if it's a $10,000 mistake, it's still $3, $4, $5, $10,000 is still a lot of money. So you guys go to PRIclasses.com, and you will see all of our classes. We've got them in Spanish, we've got them in English. Whether you represent a buyer, you represent a seller, it just doesn't matter anything that you want there. All the information is going to be there provided for you. So we're just going to briefly go over it today. So it doesn't matter what type of system you guys are using, whether you're using Matrix or you're using Flex, either or. They both have the same functions, okay? So I love going into the area, the neighborhood, and it's all determined within a 1 mile radius, okay? Within a 1 mile radius is where are the properties that we're looking at and we're looking for. Now, when we're talking farmland, that's completely different. So we'll do another class on vacant land, which again will be farmland. Today is more residential and maybe income producing properties. But farmland, you can go up to 10 miles or even further, because those are rare units. So to find something identical to it might not be for 50 acres down the road, or 60 acres or 25 acres. So it's a little bit different. So our comparables, we can really travel for farmland. But again, today is all residential that we're going over. So within a 1 mile radius, or if you're in a neighborhood, you want to check inside that neighborhood. If there aren't many lots available, then you want to go to the neighborhood across the street. So there's going to be a neighborhood across the street or behind it or on either one of the sides. So we go and see what the lots are being sold there. Now, here's the thing. When we do CMAs, on a home with today's market. I mean, we have a very explosive market. Properties are selling, within weeks, within days, and we have multiple offers coming in. So truly, you don't need to go more further back than only 6 months. But with land, since they're just starting to really get very active, land's just starting to really move a lot, you can go back a year. So I recommend going back a year, going back 6 months, and just taking a look. But if you guys are looking at, at the market right now with land is selling just as quickly, and it's increasing by 2-3 times as much. As an investor, phenomenal time to buy land. Phenomenal time to buy land. Why? Because the land and you got the small builders, the spec builders, you got the small general contractors, and they're buying up all the land they can because it's only increasing in value. Great time to invest in land, by the way, guys. So let's take a look at the actives that are there for maybe 6 months to a year, or go back. You could always change it. Just go to edit search and look at the pendings and the contingents. Okay, see what they're going for, the ones that are under contract. Very important. You guys go down and look at the dates, because that's going to tell you whether the property is overpriced. It's been on the market for 218 days or 180 days or something like that. But if the property's been on the market for like 10 days, it's telling you that's probably priced correctly. And there's always room to ask for a little bit more. Okay, so I mean, no market, especially here in South Florida, is ever going to stay the same. So we could always ask for a little bit more, and try to help out our sellers get a little bit more for the properties as well too. So after you look at the contingents and the pendings, now what's the difference between a contingent and pending? Nothing. They're the same. They're both under contract. Okay, look at those. Look at the days in the market. Make sure that the lot size is pretty similar. Now, a lot is usually 50, 65, or 75 by 100, 125, or 150. That is considered a lot. An acre, much larger. 5 acres, much larger parcel of land. Back on the market means it was under contract, and contract must have fell through. Back up on the market. Again, take a look at the days. Make sure it's pretty much comparable. Closed. Closed are the ones that have been sold. Very important. Again, just edit search. It's as simple as going back to edit search, switching from contingent, or switching from back on the market, and just switching it to closed. We want to see them. The system is automatically going to give you 365 days. At least, Flex will. Matrix, I think, will go back 180 days. So it goes back 6 months. Take a look at both of them. See what they're going for. Now you're actually doing it, the way that I suggest that you guys should do it, manually. Why? Because I have no room for error. And even in error, if you guys are representing a seller, okay, or an investor, $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 might be the profit margin. So we really don't want a mistake there. So the way that I like doing it is how? Manually. And I do all of my market analysis, all my CMAs are not from the press of a button, CMA. I mean, that's the easiest way to do it, but are we professionals? We are. Let's do things correctly. So I love doing it manually. Here's something to determine value that you guys really need to look at, okay? Again, as I went over, how many days on the market, and then the conditions of the land. Now, I'm giving you guys here, as an example, 2 different parcels of land. You've got one that's wooded, and you've got one on top of it that's been cleared. Now, which one of the 2 has more value? Of course, the one cleared. Why? Because if anybody that comes in, they have to cut down these trees. And now we're going to go over trees as well, too, that you cannot cut down. They are state protected, and you cannot cut those trees down. And you need to know where these trees are located at, too, because they're dead smack in the middle of the lot, and it's a protected tree like an oak tree or a cypress tree. Ouch, good luck. You're going to have a hard time, building a house in the middle of that lot, okay? So a wooded, like you see here, a wooded parcel of land, it's going to cost a lot of money to clear it out, depending how bad it is. And I mean, it could cost anywhere from $10,000 up to $25,000 sometimes to clear it out. And one of the things you want to do is you want to make sure that you leave some of the mature trees there, because when you go to build on it, the city's going to ask and require that there is still, some plants that are going to be there. They're going to ask for this. So you're going to want to leave a lot of these mature trees there. So you don't want to go in there and just wipe out everything. That you don't want to do. So you want to leave for landscaping, and besides, the city and the county is going to ask for it regardless. But again, a cleared parcel of land holds more value than a wooded. So you can ask more. And now there's a big difference here too. You've got trees and you've got shrubberies. Some of the shrubberies really grow up pretty big, and they grow up 5-6 feet or 4 feet in height. Now those are really easy to clear. You come in there with the bobcat, those are so easy to clear. Unless it's waterfront property like mangroves, we cannot cut those down. Those are, again, state protected. They're against, they're help fight against our tropical storms and our hurricanes. Palm trees, we can't cut them down and so forth. So, when you're determining value on this partial piece of land, it's a big difference when you see it cleared to when you see it wooded. So that's something extremely important to look at. Now, looking at and testing the land, the soil tests, that's something that we can give you guys tips on as the realtors. And, you got to understand what muck soil is and then just sandy soil. Now, you guys understand that entire Florida is pure sand. Our drainage system goes right through it when it rains. Now, muck retains water. Muck retains water. A lot of people will look at muck. And by the way, what is muck? It's this dark parcel of soil. It's great soil. It holds water. To build a home on it, you can't because it's a very soft soil. The city won't do it. The muck has to be removed, and then it has to be replaced with the right proper soil that is used for construction, okay? But what they do is they actually take out the muck where it's located at, where the home is going to be built at. The majority of the homeowners don't want to remove the muck that is around the houses. Why? Because your plants are going to love it. You're going to have a very nice green grass, like, we use the St. Augustine grass. It's very rich, it's very thick to walk on, it's very healthy, and then you got the plants. The plants are going to love it because it retains water. So muck is really sort of a good thing. Now, we've had a lot of individuals that bought, for example, like this photo that I'm showing you guys right here. It's all sandy. If you guys look at it, you don't have nice thick green, grass on it. Why? Because it's got no nutrients, it's got no soil, it's got no water. And what do plants need? They need soil, they need water, and they need the sun. So muck retains all that, but not the sand. Water goes right through it. This is what you're going to have right here, something that looks like this. Not too friendly to walk on, by the way. It kind of hurts your feet when you're walking on it, barefooted I'm talking about, So a lot of people will bring in this soil, the muck soil, and they'll put anywhere from 3 to 6 inches on top of it, so they'll have a healthy soil for the plants and for the grass. So again, muck soil, how do you determine if there is muck soil? Whenever there's muck, that means that there is lowland. So the elevation is below the water level. It's kind of not good. So here's the thing. Time's of the essence right now on selling a property. Selling a property, whether it's a residential, whether it's an income-producing property, or whether it's land. Okay, time is of the essence. People want to sell their land quickly because they most likely want to buy another parcel of land, or they want to buy another property. And if you guys wait too long, that other piece of property is going to get sold. Okay, so one of the things that you want to determine if the property sits like on a lower elevation, you're going to look for a couple of things. Like right here, I'm showing you guys what a cypress tree is. Okay, cypress trees cannot be cut down. They're state protected. They're state protected, And if you have a piece of land and it is full of cypress trees, then you want to see the parcel of land next to it, because you're not going to be able to build on that one there, you know, because you've got all these cypress trees there. And then you're not going to have a very clear backyard either. The most you're going to be able to do with that is play hide and go seek or something like that, because, you know, you can't remove the trees. You can't remove the trees. So you want to make sure that this parcel of land that you're getting for your clients, there is some green area, there is some area that is cleared, because that's where the home's going to sit at. That's where the home's going to be built at. Now the backyard, unfortunately, you cannot do anything with that. So before your client, and we're not saying that your client shouldn't get a soil test, but again, time is of the essence. And all these companies that are doing soil tests, they are so busy right now. They're 2, 3, almost a month behind. So in that time, you guys have probably lost the sale or on the other piece of property. So what are you guys going to be doing? Talking to your clients, letting them know what muck is, letting them know the benefits of muck, and that muck can be removed and brought in new soil so we can build brand new homes on it, okay? Now that, again, the cost of doing something like that can range anywhere from about $6,000 to $8,000 up to $20,000. So you have to determine that into the value of the price of the home. So again, how do we know if there's muck there? If there's cypress trees there, you're in low land. So I don't need a company to come out there and they're going to come in with the big machines. They're going to drill down. They're going to pull it up. They go, oh, Mr. Alvarez, you're in low land. Yeah, thanks. I kind of knew that. There's cypress trees sitting here everywhere. Okay. So a survey as well too. Whenever we do a survey is going to pinpoint exactly, you know, the parcel of land in all the four corners. But when you go out there to do a survey, you want to ask the survey companies to do what's called an elevation certificate. It's going to determine we're in a flood zone or we're not in a flood zone. So again, if we're waiting for all that, because you're not going to order a survey, you're definitely not going to order a survey before you put an offer in on the property. I don't think you are. So as a realtor, you guys should know, you know, the parcels of land. When you get there, you should be able to determine, you know, is it in a low land? Are there cypress trees there? Then we already know we're in a lowland. I don't need you know, a survey company to come out there and tell me, oh, by the way, you're in a flood zone. Yeah, there's cypress trees everywhere. I could have told you that. But we're going to need that elevation certificate anyway, because the insurance company's going to need it. So when they go to build the home, and you're going to need the survey anyway. Surveys are really extremely monstrously important. Okay, so a lot of individuals and realtors and clients, because they don't really know what they're doing, some don't, you know, when they're buying a parcel of land, if you go out there and it's all wooded, you really don't know what parcel of land you're buying. So I'm going to show you guys how to determine where it's at on the computer, but there's a big difference determining something on the computer than when you walk there. When you actually go there to the physical site, and you look at this, you're going to look at it, and so everything's like all wooded. You're going to go, oh my God, which one am I buying? You know, so having the survey will alleviate problems down the road, because after you buy it, you don't want your client thinking is, oh, I thought I had 25 more feet this way or 50 more feet this way, or I had further, you know, I had more depth. It went further back. So the survey is going to flag it. It's going to tell you exactly where it's at, so your client can see exactly their parcel of land that they bought at. Okay. So one of the things that you guys want to look at to be able to take the client out there is going into whichever county we're at. Doesn't matter if we're in Dade County, Broward County, Palm Beach County, St. Lucie, Stewart. It doesn't matter where, Indian River. It doesn't matter where we're at, Lee County. It doesn't matter. Osceola. Every county's got what's called, you know, the property appraiser's office. So here at Palm Beach County, it's actually called Papa's, they call it. and that is short for Palm Beach County Property Appraisers. So you'll go to www.pbcgov.org/PAPA. Now guys, you don't have to write any of this down because these classes are all recorded. They're all recorded. You guys are just going to go right into priclasses.com, and you're going to be able to watch this class over as many times as you want, and you're going to be able to get all these sites. They're all there for your convenience, okay? So this is what it looks like here at Palm Beach County. And then here are the things that you guys want to determine before, you're going to go get, if you're getting a listing, and you need this information. So number one is the owner's name or the corporation's name that owns it, because in many cases, a lot of parcels of land are owned by corporations. So, and two, the tax bill. Very important. Look at 2020, because that's going to tell you what the taxes are. Now, of course, this here is nothing more than just an example that we're using here. So do not look at the tax bill. I just picked something out of randomly there. Tax bills on vacant land are very low. I love buying parcels of land. Why? Because right now, especially with today's market, they're increasing with three to 4 months, and they're doubling and tripling in price. It is unbelievable. So even if you go into the into the mid-Florida or out to the West Coast, great time to buy. Great time to buy. I mean, Lehigh Acres is killing it. Anybody wants to invest in there? You are watching it every 2 to 3 months. You're just watching how the prices are just increasing. Tax values on those things, I mean, $200 to $300. Sometimes $75. It's all it's paying for property taxes. But please do let your clients know that are going to build on there that that's not going to be their tax, because once they build the home, then they're going to reassess, the home. And how do we figure out, besides calling up the property appraiser's office and getting an estimate? Well, look at the surrounding homes. Look at what the surrounding homes are what their tax values are at, and if they're homesteaded or not. That's going to give yourself and your client a very good estimate of what their property taxes are going to be like. Okay. Here's the thing. I know it came out kind of small, but if we could put this here on the screen, see on this parcel of land right here how it's highlighted. That's going to tell you exactly where your client's buying this land at. But again, there's a big difference between seeing it on a computer and then walking to the actual location. And when you go out to the location and you get there, and again, everything is just nothing but trees, and you go, oh my God, where is this land at? And your client's going to ask you, the professional, the realtor, and it's going to say, okay, so what am I buying? You're going to go, I think that's your tree, or that might be your tree. Well, here's another tip for you guys to use. Find a home that's nearby, okay? And then you're going to be able to see the size of these lots. And every lot is highlighted. Every lot is highlighted. So if we have a home that is 3 lots down, right? So we know that the lots, and we're going to show you guys in another class on how to use a meter. And with the meter, it's going to be a short class on just measurements of lots, and it'll show you 50 by, let's say, 150. Okay, we're going to be doing some classes. They're not going to be live, but you guys can go to priclasses.com and watch it there. And we're going to show you guys how to determine the size of the land that they're buying, okay, without sending a surveyor there. Now, we could be off by maybe 3 feet, 5 feet, but we're not going to be off by 10, 20 feet unless you clicked, and it's so easy to do. It's like, we'll show you. I'll show you the class. Go to PR Classes, you'll be able to see it, okay? But, again, if there's a single family home, whether to the left or to the right of it, okay, or in the back of it, or in the front, it doesn't matter, and you'll see how many lots are there, then you're going to be able to determine where this lot's going to be located at. So, there's a single family home there, and there are 2 lots, and then the one that you're selling is the 3rd lot, then you're going to be able to determine exactly, because a lot of realtors, I'll give you an example, they will not put for sale sign. I don't know why. Don't ask me that. That is the craziest thing on the planet. Not put a for sale sign in front of your land that you're selling. Me as a seller, I wouldn't be too happy with you. I want you to put a for sale sign. Why? Because I want you to sell the land. But a lot of realtors won't put for sale signs. And sometimes they will. They'll put a for sale sign. You guys know we live here in South Florida. We have tropical weather all the time, very windy storms. And if you use those yard signs, guess what happens? They fall over, okay? So neighbors won't know, the surrounding neighbors won't know the property's for sale. So you need to go over there ever so often and visit it and put the sign back up. If you're selling like a commercial piece of property or a nice big parcel of 5 acres, you want to try to get, business from the surrounding neighborhood. So I want to ask you guys a question right now. We have a nice parcel of land, okay? And we have one realtor that goes out there with a yard sign. You guys know which the yard signs are. These are the small ones that you put in with your foot and just plant it in. And you really can't even put it in really heavily, because in a lot of the land is so sandy, you need like a mallet or a hammer to try to get it into the ground. So you're just barely going to put it in. And with the wind and so forth, it's going to be falling down or partially falling down. Now me, on the other hand, I'm going to go do an investment. I will spend between $300 to $400, and we've got companies that will do this for you. They're going to put a very beautiful picture of you, the realtor, okay? Partnership Realty, whatever type, whether it's commercial, residential, whether it's agricultural, depending on light industrial. You'll put the zoning down, your phone number, your name, and everything. And the way that I'm going to do it is, they're 4x8. These are 4x8 signs. I'm going to put it like this. It's going to be angled just like this. So the upcoming traffic from this side is going to see my sign here, and the upcoming traffic from this side is going to see my sign there. Then the rest is going to be 2x4s and 4x4s. If once you sell the land, okay, now the companies that you can order these from, a lot of them, at least the ones that we use, they'll go out there and put it up for you. Then you can probably pay them, and they'll take it out. They'll pull them off and so forth once you sell the land. But one of the most important things is if once you sell the land, just take it off again. Take everything, and if you put it inside a storage, you put it inside your garage, you put it somewhere else, guess what you've got for the next parcel of land? You've got your investment there. And this investment, if you're keeping it inside, out from the weather, okay, you've got it for quite a long time, and you're going to be reusing it over and over and over. So let's go back to the surrounding, neighborhood, the other sellers that might be thinking about selling their piece of land as well too. So they're going to come over there right now, and you have one realtor who's got a small little tiny sign, okay, that you can barely see it, kind of falling down. But then you've got another realtor who is a professional. Guess what she or he did? They put up 4x8s in color, your photo, very well described, Partnership Realty, everything on it, and you've got this. Me, if I am a seller, I think I'm going to go with the professional and not the one that just put that little piece that doesn't really care, of if the property sells or not. I want you to care. I want you to sell my parcel of land, because I probably want to buy something else with the money that I'm getting from there. So hopefully you guys are going to see it sort of my way. Make the investments. Everything in life is investments and sacrifices, okay? Make the investment of $300, $400 and put the right sign up. Put the right sign up. I mean, that's just my opinion, Or just put that little small sign and let one of these little tropical storms like we had here I think we had one a couple of nights ago. Are you kidding me? I mean, no. I think a little bit differently, okay? MLS guidelines. We want to talk about MLS guidelines. They don't require a picture, Okay, that is another big mistake on Ismael Alvarez's behalf. As the broker of Partnership Realty, I feel it's another big mistake. I think that you guys and realtors should take pride, should take a lot of pride in their work, okay? And I want to sell the property, and I want to make my client satisfied with me. And so he or she or they can refer me over other clients, okay? I can't tell you how many listings I've looked at in the MLS, and you're gonna see exactly this. See where I put here, do not do this, no photo? This is what it looks like right there. A little camera with a slash on it. Of course, we just used an example here. We blacked everything else, we X'd everything else here. But guys, that to me is such a huge mistake. Are you a professional or not? Because DBPR, Division of Real Estate, and the Real Estate Commissions thinks you are. NAR thinks you are. I think you are. Do you think that you are? I hope you do. Okay? So nowadays, our cell phones, they're 4K. My God, you don't have to pay a professional photographer to go out there. And even if you got professional photographers that go out there, how much do they charge? $125? Are you kidding me? They're doing aerial views, okay? They're doing very nice photos. They're doing photos of the surrounding neighborhood. How important is that? Because see, the majority of our clients, they're not even here in the state. They're not even here in the county. Guess where they're at? They're in Europe. They're in Canada. They're all over the U.S. They are in another county, okay? And even if they were in the county, they don't want to drive over there to look at that. So what are you going to do? You're going to take photos of what? Take professional photos of the entire area, drones, and then you're going to take photos of the surrounding neighborhood, the crossroads, what stores are located, you know, all the stores that are located. If there's a supermarket, are there department stores, are there schools nearby? Why not do it like that instead of doing it like this? Look at this right here. This is you. You took no photo of it. Take some time, even if you don't want to pay the $150 or $125 that they're going to charge you, okay? Take some time and take your cell phone and drive around the neighborhood and put a nice sign up too. But let the people that are watching, that are looking at this from Central, South America, from Canada, from Europe, from anywhere here in the U.S., from anywhere in the U.S., the ones that are living down south, the ones that are living up north, let them see what we want them to see. The crossroads, the community, the parks. Are there any rivers next by, you know, nearby? There are so many. Florida, oh my God, we have so many great things here in Florida. It's unbelievable. Florida's like, I love living here in Florida. I would never move out of Florida. But there are so many great factors that I believe, in my opinion, that you should do and not do. You could put the C in red, right? Don't do that, okay? Again, that's just my opinion. You guys kind of run your own business the way that you think should be ran. This is the way that I think. Go out there. Make a day of it. Take nice photos and then put them all up. Our cell phones nowadays with 4Ks is unbelievable. And then what you're developing is what? A quicker sale. Now, understand this. If I am a seller, you know, I would want you to do this. I would expect you to do these things as a realtor that you are. You know, not this right here, okay? So I recommend everything that you guys are looking at there. Again, photos, you know, quicker sales, professionalism, and so forth, okay? Now, as I said, we're only talking about residential today and some commercial and light industrial, okay? They're residential, for example, for vacant land, you're in a neighborhood, so you know you can only build in there single family homes. You can't build a duplex, triplex, fourplex, or anything like that because in that neighborhood there are none. But if you're not in a gated community, or you're not in a community, and there are, income producing properties. What's an income producing property? Duplex, triplex, fourplex, things like that, okay? Multifamilies. Then you know that it could be rezoned. And it's not that hard to get the land rezoned. And depending on the square footage of the land, then you know if you can build a duplex, or you can build a triplex, or you can build a fiveplex, or if you can build 16 units there, okay? But you need to know the partial, the health department's got to come in, the size of the septic tank, and so forth. The land determines the bedroom count, the square footage that you can build in there, so you need to know by the land. And how do we do that? Let's look in a residential home, a residential family. Let's look at the properties that are there. Let's look at the lot size. Let's look at the size of the homes that could be built there. Because if you've got, let's say, 75 wide by 100 in depth, or 65 by 125 in depth, or something like that, and you see a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,300 square foot, then you know we can build a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,500 square feet. In some cases, we can't. In some cases, we can only build 3 bedrooms, 2-bath, and so forth. But how do we know that? By the size of the land. By the size of the land. So you look at the surrounding neighborhood. Wouldn't that be the CMA? Wouldn't that be the market analysis that we do? So this is the legwork that we need to do prior to, okay? Now, again, looking at income producing properties, again, duplex, triplex, fourplex, fiveplex, and even getting into more units, 10 units, 15, 20 units. You need to see if, there are surrounding and next to it, not like a mile away. We're talking right immediately next to it, okay? You need to see, are there duplexes and fiveplexes or 10-unit building sites there? Then we've got companies. These guys are phenomenal. Architects, engineers, and these guys do nothing but what's called land development. What are they going to do? They're going to change the rezoning on it. We have so many investors in our office, and all that these investors do is they buy parcels of land, and they can be, for example, agricultural, light industrial, or, well, maybe not light industrial, but agricultural, for example. And their surrounding neighborhoods, they're going to go over there, buy the land, they're going to rezone the land, and out of that rezoning, like yesterday I showed the property, and a little less than the $750,000 property, but it's 2 parcels of land with 2 parcels ID number, but you can build up to 12 units on there. We figured it out, and it came out to each lot came out to about $65,000. That's pretty cheap. Okay? Now, there are a lot of investors that will go out there, buy the raw land, pay for it to be rezoned, which could take anywhere from about 6 months to 8 months, okay? But guess how much your money just doubled or tripled? And you didn't do a single thing to it. What did you do? You just rezoned it. You rezoned it. And now these contractors are going to come in here, and they're going to pay you a lot more for the land that you rezoned. Why? Because now they don't have to wait 6 months, 8 months, or a year. Now, on really big parcels of land, it's even more. 5 years sometimes, 3 years sometimes, because you need, community approval and so forth. But we're not talking about that today. We're just talking residential and so forth. So here's a parcel of land which is commercial or light industrial or light commercial, because it's right there, in a crossroad. Again, commercial is worth more, and depending on the city as well too. You guys need to look at, because there's a lot of cities that have no economic basis. There's not a lot of employment there. There are no, there's just no employment whatsoever. So the value on any home or on any land, it's not going to really increase. Why? Because there is no growth. There's no employment. But if you start seeing developers come in there, you start seeing new schools, you start seeing, these big department stores coming in there, supermarkets coming in there, then you know that that city or town is going for growth. Great place to go buy. Great place to buy these parcels of land that are very low. I mean, about 6 months ago, and I can't stop talking about Lehigh Acres. I own some land out there as well too. I mean, parcels of lands are going out there, these lots, 2,000 to 3,000. Good luck. 4 months, 5 months later, see if you can buy one out there for $2,000 or $3,000. They no longer exist. But again, there's a lot of financial economy bases going around. There's a lot of stores, there's jobs, there's employment, there's growth. There's a lot of growth. So if you go over there, the land has tripled or quadrupled already in price. Now give it 5 or 6 more months and let's see what happens. Same thing as Port St. Lucie. Did you guys see what the land was going for in Port St. Lucie? $25,000, $30,000? Try to buy one there now for $25,000 or $30,000. Good luck. And if you did, go celebrate. Go celebrate because you stole it. You got that cheap. What are they going for over there? They're going for $60,000, $80,000, $90,000 already, and even more in some sites. Same thing with Palm Beach County. Now we did on the class that we did yesterday. We did a search for land here in Palm Beach County under $100,000, and only 2 of them came up. Yeah, it's like anything else in the world. Okay, us as realtors, we need to be looking at the market at all times. It's called farming. We need to be looking at our market on a daily basis, or at least every other day, and seeing the changes that's going on and recognizing the changes that's going on too. Because not only are we helping individuals to buy homes, we're helping investors as well too. Remember, not only can you guys be investors, you can also help investors, you can help contractors, you can help people that are buying homes for single family homes. So something like this here, we could actually change it and rezone it, okay? And again, when you do something like that, guess what happens? It quadruples in price. Sometimes it's a lot more than that. So buying a parcel of land like this here, it's a pretty good move, but you need to look at the city. Is there an economical basis there? Is there, is there financial, is there growth? Is there, we need to look at all those things. Those are very, very important factors. Something that we need to do, and we have a lot of classes in PRI classes, whenever we represent a seller, we needed to give and determine, what the closing cost for a seller is. So go in there, and it's under seller's net proceeds, and it's going to help you. Again, guys, don't look at this. This is just something that I pulled out of here. The document looks identical to this, and it's going to help you guys how to determine, a seller's expenses. What are the seller's closing costs? You need to know all this because no seller likes what's called, a bad hidden surprise. Well, it's not hidden. Sorry, that came out wrong. Strike that from the, from the court records. There's no hidden. We don't do anything hidden. But we don't like bad surprises. We want to let, and everything's an estimate. Whether you're getting a preliminary HUD from a title company or from an attorney, it's all an estimate. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to give them a pretty good estimate as well too. And us as realtors, we should know how to do this. No, that came out wrong. We should know? No, we definitely must know. So go into PRI classes again and watch our seller's net proceeds to learn how to determine, seller's expenses. And it doesn't matter what we're selling, whether it's a duplex, single family home, a villa, a townhouse, or raw land. It wouldn't matter. But the documents are right there. They're inside your Form Simplicity. This is for Partnership Realties. When you go to packages, go to Form Simplicities. We've got all these classes showing you exactly how to get to it. Here is our sister company partnership title. So for doing closings, remember it's not edged in stone. It's not edged in stone. It's a practice. It's a practice like Palm Beach County, St. Lucie County. Seller chooses title. Broward, Dade, buyer chooses title, but it's not a law. It's nothing but a practice. So what if you're representing a buyer that's looking at probably flipping this property? So you can go in there and you can put in there buyer chooses title. You want a clear title on that because what are you going to do? You're going to resell it, and there's a savings in that you don't have to pull again a brand new search, you know, a new title policy. You can do a reissue title policy, okay? So depending on who you're representing, a buyer can choose title no matter where we're at, or a seller can choose title no matter, you know, where we're at. So here's the information for partnership title that you guys, we're willing to assist and help you guys. So that's pretty much it there on the most important points and factors. But what we want to go into right now is doing a search, okay? So we want to do a search for vacant land. So I'm going to be using, well, here, let me go back for a sec. This is your dashboard. This is your MLS dashboard. Now, some realtors will use Flex and others will use Matrix. It doesn't matter. It's pretty much the same thing, either or that we used to, that we're going to be using, okay? So we're going to come here, and you guys see how it says here, quick search? These are shortcuts up here. Now, I love creating shortcuts. Why? I'm lazy. Nah, I'm not really lazy. If they're there, why not use it? But I'll give you an example. Come here to menu, and there are, you know, you need to go through all this to know exactly what's there. But see here where it says quick search and it's starred. Now watch this. See it right here? Once I unclick this, it's gone. It's definitely gone. So what do we go? Go here, back to menu, go back to search, and see how now it's not highlighted? Let's highlight it, and there it is. So your form simplicity is there. You know, all your office listings, very important. Quick search, things like that. So today we're going to be using quick search. So let's go to quick search. And here's something that you guys need to know. Right up here on your upper right-hand corner, in my left, see where it says land? Well, you're going to change this depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for residential, you're going to click on residential. But what if my client is looking for residential income? What is residential income? Duplex, triplex, fourplex, you know, things like that. Stuff that, you know, our investment is going to be giving us a return on. Okay? There's land, there's business. A lot of times we sell business, and the business owner does not rent or lease the space. They don't own the land. So where are you going to put it under? Under a business. So it could be a beauty salon, it could be a barber shop, it could be a bakery, it could be a restaurant, it could be anything like that, that the individual does not own the land. So it's going to be right here. So they're probably renting or something. So for rentals, it's here. So today we're using land. Let's go to land. And now we're going to be using the filters here. It automatically goes to active. Now we've got 4,096 parcels of land. Like I said, it's a seller's market right now. We're short on inventory. It's a phenomenal time to sell, but it's also a phenomenal time to buy, because a year from now, 6 months from now, property values are still going to keep going up. So let's say that I want to come here, I'm going to close this out, and my client is looking around the Palm Beach County area. So you see this little glove here, and it's highlighted. So as long as it's highlighted, you can move this map around. You can zoom in, zoom out. And so I'm going to be you can double click in. So I'm going to be coming here to this West Palm Beach area, because my client is looking at purchasing a piece of property for under $100,000. So let's see what's available. So I love, you know, you can use the circle, you know, I love using the polygon. That's my favorite, because I get the detail and highlight exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to use the polygon. So I'm going to start right here from Riviera Beach, phenomenal place to buy. So I'm going to click there. I'm going to come all out west. I'm going to come out here to Loxahatchee. Wellington. I'm going to go down to Boynton Beach, and then when you're done, just double click on it right there. So now it's going to tell us, you know, how many lots are available. But now let's use our filters. And my client, unfortunately, doesn't want to spend more than $100,000. So let's do that. Just put 100 in here, and we've only got 13. So if I remove that 100 and I put 200, what's this? No, we went up. We got less. We got 26. Yeah, what happened there? So it can't. So max price 100,000, 13 pieces of property. But if I remove all this, again, we have 4,000. So now, what type of property are we looking for? We are looking again for residential. So there's parking, there's industrial, I mean agricultural, you got commercial, and here is single family detached. So let's click on that, and now it even reduced even more. We only have 8 parcels of land. Now, there are a lot of more filters down here that you can look for and just minimize it. But again, I think with 8, we pretty much were there. Let's just take a look at these 8 parcels of land. Now, here are some. They've taken photos, and some have just used that you could actually subdivide this and turn this into different parcels of land. Or no, sorry, this is the one that they're actually selling. This is the one that they're actually selling there. I apologize about that. But these are the parcels of land, and let's take a look at the photos. Let's go to the photos. Something we were talking about a little bit earlier about the photos. This person only took about three photos. So let's take a look at this individual here at 77,000. Go back to photos, and here's something I'm talking about. Make it as detailed as possible for your clients that aren't even here in the U.S., or they're not here in the state, or they're not even here in the county, or even if they are in the county and they just live out west or east or something like that. You know, see how they highlight it in red? They're actually showing you what the piece of parcel of property that you're buying. But take a look at this. They're showing you, look at the zoom. They're going over here and doing a drone. They're showing you the area. I think that, you know, this is well done. I'm not going to click on details, of course, because we're not going to. So that's a way of looking at it, okay? Now, when you're here, we're going to do what's called, we're going to fill out a vacant land contract. Now, I've already taken the liberty of filling one out. We have many classes, many classes on how to fill out a contract, an as-is contract. Again, go to priclasses.com, and, you know, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. You guys aren't creating these contracts. These contracts are created already. All you're doing is filling it out. And when you watch these classes, that you're taking the MLS ID number, and once you put it into the contract and whatever documents are you selected in there, and you hit import, probably, I will tell you guys that probably 70% of your offer of this as-is contract is already filled out. 70% is already filled out. It should take you guys, the realtors, literally no more than 10 minutes to fill out a contract. Because just by getting the MLS number, putting it in there, and clicking import, it's, like I said, 70% of this contract is already filled out, okay? So the rest is what the buyer's name is, and so forth, or the price they're offering, and some of the terms and conditions you're going to be putting in there. How do you get to fill out an as-is contract within 10 minutes? You guys have to practice this at home. And you can practice this in the form Simplicity as many times as you want. You can't damage the system. The great thing about it is if you did it 10, 15 times, go in there and select all 10, 15 and hit delete. Get rid of them. You know, because they're all just practice examples that we were using. So there's 2 ways of finding the form Simplicity. One, again, go to your matrix or your flex, and you're going to have it here in your shortcuts. There's form Simplicity. Or just go back to your dashboard. And once you go back to the dashboard, if I can get back to it, okay, go down and see it here where it says Form Simplicity. Just click on Form Simplicity. Now, like I said, I took the liberty already of creating a vacant land contract. So here's the home page. These are your current transactions, and these are your forms and packages. So let's go to forms and packages first, because I want to show you guys where to find this at. So see here where it says forms and packages underneath blank form, which is the third tab down. So underneath blank forms, go to form and packages. Now we've got every single form created for you guys that you need, okay? So you're gonna have here 10. I want you guys to click on 50, so you guys will have every single package created by Partnership Realty for any type of real estate sales or needs that you have. So you guys need to go through this, every single one of them. You're gonna need to go through all of this here. But if you come down here, you're gonna see here vacant land. So we're gonna come here to vacant land. So if you have a listing, the exclusive right of listing is gonna be in there. And the as-is contract is also gonna be in there. So all the forms are gonna be in there. Again, go into PRI classes and it'll teach you how to get there, how to import it over. And basically it's just fill in the blanks. It's as simple as that. So I'm gonna go to this transaction that I already created. And here it is. We are actually using an example today of a parcel of land that's over in Clewiston. That's the Glades and Hendry area. That area, Glades and Hendry County, that area is like in Central Florida, right underneath Lake Okeechobee. Phenomenal area, growing enormously over there as well too. Another great area to go purchase. That whole area, LaBelle, Clewiston, Montour Ranch, Belle Glade, phenomenal area to go as an investor to go buy land. So let's take a look at the vacant land contract, and we're going to go over it. Like I said, once you look at our PRI classes on how to fill out a contract and how to export, just by putting in the MLS number into it alone, it's going to have 70% of your contract already filled out. So all that you got to put in there is your buyer's name. In this case, me, I'm the buyer. Okay. So the parcel ID number, which is the VIN number. Okay, it's here. Street address, the legal description, all that's going to be in there. So I'm going to put in there the asking price. And right now, that piece of land, they're asking for the asking price is $34,900. So I'm offering the full $34,900. Then here's something really important, guys, that you guys need to know. See all these, every single contract is numbered. And as every line is numbered, there's a star right next to it. I think Florida Realtors believes that these lines are important to be filled in. So anything with a star next to it, I believe it should be filled in. Don't leave anything blank. Put a 0 in there, put an NA in there, put something in there. So again, once you hit import, 70% of your contract or your offer is already going to be pre-filled out. So within 3 days, since we don't know if they're going to accept our offer or not, so the escrow deposit is $1,000, and I put 3 days down. Now you guys know that you need to put that in there within 1 day as a realtor. So you need to find out from the listing agent. You need to find out from the listing agent what title company or what attorney is going to be doing the closing. You're going to contact that title company. If they're local, you'll get a check and you'll hand deliver the check over to the title agency. If not, it's going to get wired in. And get the wiring instructions and make sure that your buyer communicates directly with that title company, because there's so much wire fraud nowadays, and just have them just contact and talk directly with the title agency. And you guys should verify it as well too before your client sends for the closing, before your client sends the money over there, because there is so much hacking You know, it's unbelievable with the wire fraud, and you don't want anything to delay your closing. So what happens if you write up a contract, and doesn't matter if it's a residential, it doesn't matter what type of an offer it is. The offer gets accepted into a contract, and your client has still not wired the money or brought you over the escrow deposit. You guys need to notify me, the broker, ASAP. You need to notify the listing agent, so the listing agent can notify the seller and the title company. Everybody needs to be CC'd on this here, because part of this contract is that escrow deposit. We don't have a fulfilled contract here without that escrow deposit. That escrow deposit is part of this contract. But we need to let all parties know, you know, within those 3 days that your client, for some reason, has not, and you would want to try to find out why your client has not sent it over there. But you need to let all parties know immediately that the funds of the escrow deposit has not been wired, okay, or hasn't been transferred or brought over. This is extremely important on our behalf as realtors, that we need to keep everybody notified on this one here. So this is a cash deal, so $34,900. If there's $1,000 in escrow, that means at the time of closing, we're going to bring in $33,900. Now remember, there's closing costs involved. There's closing costs involved. We've got many classes. Again, through priclasses.com, that will teach you how to determine what the closing costs are for your buyer. Doesn't matter if they're selling a home, vacant land, or you can contact the title company, our title company, and we'll give you what's called a preliminary HUD. So we'll give you an estimated, or whatever title company you're using, you want to get a preliminary HUD. But you guys, realtors, you should be able to know how to calculate these things. And how easy is that? Just watch these classes. The more knowledge that you've got about your real estate career, the more that you can help your clients, your community, and yourselves. The least amount of knowledge that you've got, guys, it's like almost a bad image on you. You know, because if I'm your client and I come to you right now and I ask you, so what do you think my closing costs are going to be? And you're going to say to me, well, I'm not sure. Let me find out. You see, you're already not making me feel very comfortable, because you as a realtor, as a professional, licensed by the state of Florida, the Real Estate Commission, you should know these things. You should know these things, okay? You should know how to calculate a seller's closing costs and a buyer's closing costs as well too. And I assure you, we're very close. We're almost identically close by a couple $100 only to a title agency or to an attorney, because they're doing estimates only as well too. But us as realtors, should we know? Absolutely we should know this. Why? Because if you get a preliminary HUD, okay, from a title agency, you want to be able to look at it, because we're here to do what? Protect our client's interests. What is our client's interest? The entire transaction. So this is stuff that we need to know, okay? But you guys can watch this through like PRI classes. So here we're selling a lot, or we could be selling an acre, or so forth. It just depends, you know, farmland or so forth. But here we're selling a lot for $34,900. You know, there's areas that you probably can get. You can probably get an acre for about that price as well too. Not a bad investment. I really mean that. In Florida, not at all. So time of acceptance, we need to put that in. Time of acceptance, today's date happens to be the 25th. So this was like yesterday's class. I'll change this and probably give them till maybe, you know, I'll give them till Monday. Okay, so I just changed it to the 28th. June 28th. So the closing should be around the time of acceptance, because if they accept your contract, your offer, I apologize. If they accept your offer on the 28th, closing should be 30 days later. Now, one of the good things about this here is if the closing is on the 30th of July, you can put or before. Why? Because there are less inspections. There we go. See it down here? And we can we can do a quick title search. We can do a title policy, and we can actually close this within 2 weeks. Vacant land, geez, surveys can get out there. They can go out there, surveyors could, and be out there within a week. So we can actually close this property. Now the seller's going to be extremely happy because the seller's probably going to want to, with that same funds that they're getting, that they're actually collecting here, they're going to go buy another piece of property, or or vice versa. God knows they might have, something that they want to do with that money. So we're going to get it to them as quickly as possible, and your client's going to be able to buy this property as quickly as possible as well too. So you could always put on or before. Now remember, everything is starred. You guys see the star right there? Okay? All these lines that are starred are very important that we should know. You guys should go over these contracts, because when you sit with the client and the client asks you, okay, so what am I signing here? You really want to know and explain it to them. You really want to know and be able to explain it to them. These contracts aren't going to change, and if they do, it might be a few paragraphs, and you want to see what the changes are. We are professionals, and we need to know, and we need to explain to our clients what they are signing. So it's very important that at home, which I know all you guys are going to do tonight, you guys are going to go home and read all of these paragraphs. And the good thing about it, it doesn't change. I mean, very rarely does it ever change. So our buyer is actually buying cash. Okay, if it was financed, it would be here. Now, let's talk about financing for a second. There are some lenders and banks that will finance, vacant land. Pre-construction loans are very easy to get nowadays. So not only will the lender, give you the money, finance the money to buy the land, they'll also finance and give you the money to actually, to build the property on it. But what happens on a case like this one here, that the sales price is only $34,000, client might be putting $10,000, $15,000 down, and they're only looking for a loan of what, $20,000. A lot of lenders will not lend, under $60,000 or $80,000. So we have an issue here. We have a lot of private lenders and portfolio lenders that will lend on that. Granted, the interest rate might be a little bit higher, but it's not that much. What, on a $20,000 loan, a couple of points more? Are you kidding me? That's like a, I don't know, it's like a cable bill or something like that, So it's very small payment. But your client did not lose the property, So contact me if you guys have a scenario like that, that a client is looking to finance, $10,000, $15,000. We've got lenders that will lend the money. Granted, it won't be the same rate, a little bit more, but nevertheless, the payment is so small that, if they cannot afford that payment, they shouldn't be buying that land, point blank. But this buyer here, Ismael, I'm buying cash in this case here. So if there is seller financing, sometimes there is seller financing. Some sellers would love to get a return on, not only are they selling you the piece of property, but they're getting a return on their money. So now they're selling it to you for a very nice interest rate. And now you get seller financing, less closing costs. Oh my God, it's like a win-win for everybody. For the seller, for the buyer, for everyone. So it's phenomenal. Here's something really important in 93, assignability of contract. So anytime they send you an offer, you're a listing agent, you want to make sure that this one here is clicked, may not assign. Do you guys see it? May not assign. Why? You don't want somebody coming in here and trying to flip your property by putting, some $1,000 down, then trying to resell it. If it doesn't close, that is a horrible image on you as a listing agent. I, as a seller, I wouldn't be happy. I go, oh my God, did you not know what you were doing? Look at this, we're not selling now. Now we have to start all over. I mean, it's not worth it. Put in there, may not assign. If the investor wants to flip this property, let them buy it outright. There's so much financing out there, it's unbelievable. Let them buy it outright, and then I hope they sell it afterwards and make double the amount of money on it. But you guys as listing agents, don't let them play with your seller or this transaction or this contract. So make sure that this little box right there, okay, is marked. So everything's going to be pretty much a statutory warranty on paragraph 8. And as we spoke before, who chooses title? It's not etched in stone. This is not etched in stone. The buyer can choose title. The seller can choose title. So we can change this to the buyer, change it to the seller, and we want to have like the title company to go out there and do, since it's vacant land, they can do a lien search pretty quickly out there and find out if there are any existing liens or permits and so forth. And now your buyer is going to have the opportunity, okay? Your buyer is going to have the opportunity to look at this title policy that they're going to send in there, and it's going to tell you if there's any liens on the property and so forth. And then we want to give at least 30 days of a cure period for the seller to go ahead and do what? Cure whatever violations, liens, close out any open permits and so forth. So, but our buyer and ourselves, that's why I request that us as realtors, we overlook this entire transaction for our buyer, because what is our job? To make this the most pleasant experience for our buyer as possible and assist and help them in every way, shape, or form. But these are things that we need to know about, okay? So we're going to keep going down. Now, the due diligence part here. This is the inspection. Now, I kind of went over with you guys that inspection companies that are going to be going out there and drilling to find out if there's muck or so forth, it's going to take them anywhere than 3 to 4 weeks. If your buyer and the seller can wait 60 days or 45 days, then fine. You write up the contract for 45 days, 60 days, and you get a company to go out there and do a soil test. But you guys are going to be able to determine a lot of this already with these little pointers that I already pointed out to you guys. You're going to be able to point this out and recognize, whether it's in a low elevation, whether it's there's muck out there. Take a shovel. Oh my God, take a shovel out there. Just dig into it. Muck's going to appear right there as black soil. There's nothing you can do about that, okay? And again, muck is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, Plants love it. Plants love it. For the home and the foundation that you're going to build with the home, of course, that the city and the county is not going to allow that. They're not going to permit that. So, but that's going to get demucked, and they're going to bring in the proper soil that's going to be used. It's great compacting soil to build the home on it. But the due diligence period, it depends on your clients, your knowledge, and how comfortable they feel with this here. So it could be something as quickly as 10 days. And God knows, you can probably get a company to go out there that might be caught up on all their work, and they can do a soil test out there within a week. So, but you need to report back. You need to report back pretty quickly. So let's just keep going down. As you can see here, these are going to be pointers here that or paragraphs here that you guys, I feel very comfortable. You guys watching this here from home, I feel very comfortable. You guys can all read this tonight. But I'm just going to go into just going to skip down to like the most important factors. So we've got what's called the processing fee or a transaction fee. It's the same thing. We call it a regulatory and compliance. Pretty much the same thing. So if you represent the seller, part of their closing costs is that they're going to pay $395, and it's optional with us. You don't have to charge it if you don't want to, okay, as the selling agent. But this is where you would write it into, regulatory and compliance for your $395. What happens if you're that great, realtor, and say you've got a buyer or you have a buyer? So put it right here on the buyer's closing costs. Remember, this is not their entire closing costs. We need to determine their actual expenses, what they are. And how are you going to do that? You're going to watch one of our other classes. So we're going to keep just going down. Like I said, this is so simple to fill in. As you can see, Michael here, he's actually the listing agent, and I'm the buyer's agent. But let me show you guys something extremely important. Now, your information is going to be automatically pre-filled in there. This is amazing. When you put that MLS number in there and you hit import, everything just transfers right over. Something that you guys need to put in there. What if you're the listing agent and you're also the property owner or homeowner? You need to let all parties know that you are a Florida licensed realtor. Okay, it needs to be put in where? Right here under additional terms. Well, in this case here, I am a Florida licensed broker. Okay, so I want to let all parties know that the buyer is a Florida licensed agent. So you can put it in there. You know, I said you can put it in there. No, you must put it in there. You know, so buyer. I should have had it in there. Sorry about that. I didn't. And I'm blind without glasses, by the way, too. Should have my glasses on. Broker, agent, whatever you are. But you need to put it in there. This is something extremely important, guys, that you need to put in there. Whether you're selling a house or you're affiliated with the seller. Okay, you want to put it in there that the seller, you're affiliated, you know, and so forth. And this is pretty much about it, unless you guys have any questions. It is so simple. I'm telling you guys, it's literally 10 minutes. It's literally 10 minutes to fill out an offer. And then we have a lot of classes on PRI classes on how you are going to send it via e-sign. So you want to look up at our e-signing classes. I'm not going to do it here because we've got classes that are specifically designed and tailored for that. It takes literally no more than 2 to 3 minutes to send this, and your client will review it. They will e-sign it from their cell phone, laptop, notepad, desktop. You'll get it back within minutes, and from there, you're going to send it directly to the listing agent. But take a look at PRI classes and take a look at our e-signing, and that's going to show you how to send this here. Once again, thank you for being here. I'm glad you guys watched this video. It's going to help you guys a lot. And knowing, you know, don't send in an offer that's partially filled out. That looks like such a bad image because it just shows you as a realtor that you really don't know what you're doing. A contract or an offer should be completely and thoroughly filled out. Thanks again, and we'll see you guys soon at our next class.